to play in your D&D game. I want to play. I want to play in your D&D game. I want to play. I want to play in your D&D.
One. Hey, everybody.
Yeah!
Welcome back. Dice camera action.
Come back, baby.
I
Yes.
want to play.
Yes, and if you're here for the first time, this is a D&D live stream game on Twitch, and we have fun every Tuesday. Our fabulous regular crew of players, aka the Waffle Crew. Since a lot of you might be joining the game for the first time, and this is the kickoff to season 2, we thought it would be a good idea to have everybody just reintroduce themselves and reintroduce their characters. So let's start with, let's say Holly, since in alphabetical order, she appears first.
Oh no! Hi everyone, I'm Commander Holly. My character is Strix. She is a tiefling sorcerer. She's very afraid of everything. She's really dirty. She has a lot of garbage all over her and like stuff that she collected, including a hag heart. And she's also got a tiny cranium rat whose name is Stinky. And she's currently in possession of a puppet with the possessed soul of a vampire lord in it. So there you go. That's her.
All right, Jared.
Hi, I'm Jared Knabenbauer, also known as Pro Jared on the internet, and I'll be playing my character, D.S. Woodrow, who is a human rogue who's had something of a rough life growing up, and as of late, however, he is still quite pragmatic, the glue that holds the Waffle Crew together, and will stop at nothing to protect his friends.
Anna.
I'm Anna Prosser Robinson, Anna Prosser on the internet, and I play Evelyn, who is a very short but very strong, blonde, curly-haired cherub paladin. And she is very, very optimistic. She likes things very clean. In fact, she really doesn't like anything to be dirty. And I think that's mostly because she is very reverent about beauty in the world and sees beauty in everything because she is a devout servant of the Morning Lord Lathander. So she sees the good in everything to a fault and kind of thinks the world revolves around her and that she thinks everything is going to go right all the time.
Awesome. And Nate.
Hey, I'm Nathan Sharp, also known as Nate Wants to Battle on the internet, and my character is Paulton. He is a human bard. He is an entertainer, fan of music, fan of the drink, voices in his head, voices in his enemy's head, impromptu theater, great with kids apparently, slightly shady past with vampires that he doesn't really like to talk about, part Batman, part Deadpool, and he has fun. So,
All right. And I am your dungeon master for today.
And you should tell them why we're the Waffle Crew, because everyone will always ask.
Yeah.
That's a mistake.
It
let 'em
isn't because you eat waffles.
It's certainly not that.
Yes.
yet.
Yes. As happens with a lot of D&D names, when the company doesn't come up with a name or can't really think of a name, one name just sort of invents itself. And I honestly don't remember the circumstances which led to the creation of the Waffle Crew name. Does anybody remember?
It was the initial campfire.
It was a
watched it.
joke that just
Yes.
stuck for some reason. It was like, let's go to that town. I hear they got waffles.
Waffles.
That was it.
That was it.
It was literally just like, what does our party have in common? I like waffles. You like waffles? Sweet, let's go where there's good waffles.
We were just going to go get brunch. That was it.
I love brunch, and we still haven't had any, so thanks, Chris.
We were close one time. We're still close.
Yeah, but then we burned the whole place down.
When the Waffle Crew finally gets waffles, it will be a momentous day and a momentous event.
Still won't eat them. Strix won't eat them.
I like how every time we don't get waffles, I imagine the scene is we're walking away and behind us the location's on fire.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. There's usually fire and waffles involved in any situation.
So you guys have been following a road out of Barovia for some time, and as you do, most of you were walking, but Evelyn, you do have the ability, and I believe you did actually summon your celestial steed, Morning
Who
Glory.
looks sick now because she's not in stupid Barovia.
Exactly.
No
No
morning-
longer a skeletal, emaciated creature with fire, with pinpoints of fire burning in its eyes. Now it's a brilliant, silvery white celestial steed.
Hate it.
With mane and tail like fire in the
Yes.
sunlight.
Yes. And as you've been making your way down this road, you see that it kind of starts to disappear under a thin layer of snow, and it gets gradually cooler and cooler as you leave. And but the forest isn't quite so claustrophobic and not so haunting as it used to be. When you look behind you, you kind of half expect to see the Balanok Mountains of Barovia, but they're gone now. In fact, it's almost as if the mountains have moved, no longer at your back, but ahead of you. Above the treetops, you can see tall, icy spires. But this is still a coniferous forest, and after about half day's travel, you're up to your ankles in snow. And feeling the chill. You're in the cold regions of God knows where.
As a point of interest, am I still wearing those really dark, like brocade, vampire-y looking clothes that I had to trade in my nice Evelyn clothes for?
Yeah.
That's really annoying me at this point. Like, that's been a low priority before. But now that we've got Stroud under control and Morning Glory's back to normal, like, I'm just like very obviously kind of picking at my clothes. And I'm like, do you guys think we could stop at a store or something?
Well, we all need to. I don't think any of us are prepared to handle this kind of weather.
I'm wearing sandals.
Oh no.
I'm really cold.
You should ride on Morning Glory. Come up here with me.
No, I hate that horse now.
No, why? She loves you. Look, Morning Glory, don't you love Strix? Yeah, she says she does.
Does anyone know exactly where we are, if there's a town up ahead at all? I'm not familiar with these parts.
None of this area, none of this winterland, woodland that you find yourself in seems immediately familiar. Strix doesn't remember the last time she was in snow quite this deep. Well, actually, you do, up in Salenka Pass.
Yeah.
Very recently.
Yeah, in fact, very, very recently. And Strix is probably sort of wondering, did we actually leave Barovia? Is it gone?
We never leave Barovia.
It was too good to be true.
Yes. You do not feel the pervasive sense of dread. However, the cold has taken its place. After a few more hours, it seems like the road has just completely vanished, and you're just going through the snowy woods.
No.
Evelyn, why don't you use your boots and fly up above the trees? See if you can...
Yes, and while she does that, if anybody wants to make a survival skill check to get bearings,
Sure.
that'd be great.
Survival.
I have none. I have none of
Don't
that.
have- if you don't have survival, don't bother making the roll.
Okay.
Wow.
Damn.
Dang.
DC 20 it is. Oh, crap, 20!
Wait, did we just? The first roll was a 20?
No,
Yes!
no, it was 18 plus 2.
Oh, because my first roll was, guess what? It's
Welcome to the Waffle Crew! There it is.
Oh, well, even though I don't have the survival skill, my first roll of the season is, in fact.
All
Oh my
right.
gosh, this means something.
It's like we're making it up.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, well,
I'm not.
Evelyn, when you sort of flutter up over the trees, you can see that you are in the middle of what looks like an expansive evergreen forest that goes all the way up to the rocky foothills of an enormous mountain range that lies in the direction you're currently walking. There are also mountains to the north, or to your left and to your right, You feel like in every direction there are practically mountains, and behind you, you just see a forest, the likes of which you've never seen in terms of its size and breadth.
I flutter back down and I say, I have never seen a place like this before, but there are just heaps and heaps of mountains and trees, and that's just about all I can see.
Well, that's not good.
No, it's not. But at least we're in it together.
Yep. You also think you could make out ahead in the direction you're headed, off in the distance. There's some sort of break in the woods that might indicate the passage of a river or something. But you can't actually see the river unless you were to go up considerably higher. By the time you get back down and inform your friends what you've seen, Diath and Paulton have kind of stumbled upon some tracks through the snow. Oh. And when you put your two heads together, you think that they might be elk or moose tracks. And they're moving parallel to the direction you're going, suggesting they came from the same direction as you.
Oh, interesting. Well, if there's a river nearby, we should head towards that, because if nothing else, if we find nothing, we could try to set up some kind of shelter there, and having fresh water would help a lot.
Yep.
And if there's animals nearby, there's something to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to have to climb inside of them?
I wasn't going to go right for that. Are you volunteering?
I mean, it's not that weird.
We'll worry about the meat part first.
All right.
Yep.
All right, let's try to follow these tracks. If we're heading towards that river, it may not be a bad idea to get there and get some refreshments. Maybe look for animals to hunt, or if be set up some shelter for the night.
Very good. Okay, you travel for an hour, and after an hour, I need you all to make Constitution saving throws.
Oh my gosh. I'm just gonna go in chronological or numerical order. So just gonna work my way up.
Oh.
Okay, so Evelyn did not make hers, I take it.
No.
I got a 7.
Okay.
6.
Wow.
11.
Paulton, save us. Okay, good. Paulton, you are the only one who does not begin to succumb to the extreme cold. The rest of you, however, do begin to suffer its effects. And you feel sort of a wave of exhaustion coming on, and your limbs start to not want to move as well as you would like, and your appendages start to go numb. So unless your name is Paulton, your speed is now halved.
All right.
It's the wine.
Yeah, you see Paulton taking little shots of his Barovian wine.
I don't understand why everyone's so slow. Like, y'all ain't even This is crazy.
Can I light something on fire? Like to keep me warm?
Yeah, what are you thinking?
Oh, what do I have? Can I just pull a piece of my robe off, tie it around a stick, and light it on fire?
Yeah, you can do a makeshift torch if you like.
Yeah,
and light that up. That will certainly keep you warm.
All right.
I could just call down some sear and smite from Lathander and just burn all these trees.
No, we're okay.
Do it.
No, don't do that. Everyone's going to know where we are. We don't even know what's here.
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
we'd be strong. What could be worse than that?
Strix, relax. Strix, relax. The worst is behind us. We're
What
just
is what probably go wrong, Strix?
Everything will
Up
be
to next scene, you're all frozen like Jack Nicholson at the end. All right. The next hour passes. I'd like you all to repeat the saving throw, if you'd be so kind. Constitution saving throw.
But I still have my stick.
You do, and I'm going to give you advantage.
Oh, yay.
Oh, 18. That's better.
It is better.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
13 for me.
That's a 12.
Okay, and Paulton?
18.
Okay. None of you suffer worsening effects in the next hour.
It's because we're all cuddling.
Right.
At least Evelyn's trying to make everyone cuddle.
If we're still within the forest, Evelyn, could you maybe go chop off some branches with your axe, and we can make some makeshift torches or something, and we just have something nearby to keep us warm during all of this?
I've got just the thing. I take out Treebane and I just start like hacking things, flying
All right.
around and hacking branches
Yep.
off.
You hack off some nice branches, and what are you using to make the burning part of the torches?
Are we just going to make like a bonfire or are we still moving?
We got to keep moving.
Okay.
I've got some more rags from my robe. She'll just like reach into her robe and just tear it off and hold it up to her.
Okay.
Got like an infinite supply of rags just trailing off.
All right. Yeah. So she's got some deeper gashes in her robes after she tears big long strips off and wraps them around the branches that Evelyn hacked off with Treebane. And so you've each now got one of these flaming torches. And,
Does Morning Glory generate heat?
No. Nor does she seem to suffer any ill effects from this cold weather.
And we don't need to use it for light. We're trying to use it to get a little bit of warmth.
Without setting yourself on fire accidentally, of course. So I'd like, when a third hour passes and you're still trudging through the woods, I'd like you all to make another Constitution saving throw. You all have advantage.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, thank God.
It is a 1, so I'm going to be taking advantage of that.
Here comes 2, baby.
There we go. 22.
Good.
All right.
Excellent.
Okay, I just want to point out that I also rolled a 1.
Okay.
With advantage, it's 16.
Very
Yeah,
good.
I got
These
19,
were my lucky dice. What's wrong?
I got 19, but I would also like to say that I rolled a 3 in there.
13 for me.
Okay. Again, you guys are able to fight off the effects of the cold. It is around this time, and it's still in the afternoon, and the sun is out, and its bright light is kind of streaming down onto the snow between the trees. You see sort of moving perpendicular to you, kind of ahead of you and about to cross in front of you, is a short, broad-shouldered figure who trudges through the snow with a very awkward gait. He moves like somebody who has peg legs or feet.
Murderbot short?
Bigger than Murderbot.
Okay.
Whew.
And this figure, whatever it is, you see that he's got a sort of an ice-coated beard, a big thick beard. You think he might be a dwarf. And you also note that he's got a big pack on his back, and he's also carrying or trying to carry over his shoulder some kind of wrapped up apparatus. And it's awkward and ungainly. And at one point, he just face plants
Oh,
right down into the snow.
Oh, as soon as I see that, I flutter over and help him up.
Okay.
poor
Oh,
guy.
hey there, traveler. How you
I
doing? Let
chuckled.
me just help you there.
Okay. Yeah. When
Blessings
you
and
go,
greetings in the light of Lathander.
when you go over to him and you sort of pick him up out face first off of the snow, he spits out the snow, gives you a quizzical look, and sort of hastily looks over his shoulder, like he's afraid something is chasing after him.
Oh gosh.
Don't worry. You're safe with us. We're the team that defeated Strahd by the blessings and light and help of the great morning Lord Lathander.
I'm gonna push the puppet more into my robes.
And he looks up at you with some confusion, and you can see that just quickly glancing at him, he is definitely a dwarf. He's obviously seen many, 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 many winters. Much of his black hair has turned gray. And he's a very unkempt creature, but he is wearing a stuffed backpack with some pans and other things hanging off of it, almost like something like a prospector would lug around. And the thing that he sort of dropped next to him, the apparatus, some of the blankets fall away, and it looks like crutches or something at first glance. You also notice that he doesn't seem to have any boots on, and he doesn't seem to have any feet.
Oh.
And he says, "Beware, there are orcs in pursuit."
Orcs?
Orcs?
Well,
Which
I'm sure glad you warned us. Aren't we lucky you came along? Come get warm by our fire here. Are these crutches yours? What are these for? You seem to get along just fine.
He looks at your little sputtering torch and he says, "You call that a fire?"
They're trying real hard.
I mean, it is a fire, but
You can see he's having trouble getting up on his stumps by himself, so he kind of uses your help to get back to his feet. By the time he does, none of you have to make any checks to see rise up behind him, maybe 100 yards back, some dark, lumbering, fur-clad shapes appear.
Oh boy.
Oh. Can I make out how many there might be?
You can see 10.
It's a lot of orcs.
that sure is. What'd you do to anger 10 orcs?
He says, I am a dwarf. Orcs hate us.
But did you steal something from them?
He says, prepare yourselves for war.
Okay. I pull up Morning Glory.
This doesn't sound like our war. Just
And,
throw that out there.
You see him pull out a warhammer.
Oh, jeez.
I'm very impressed by that. I kind of give him one of those oh, nice, like checking out his car kind of thing. Like, I see you. I see your Warhammer.
All right. I'll pull up
Can't even walk.
I pull up the short sword right away to show that, I kind of stand with them. I also turn to him and ask, which way were you headed, friend? Were you seeking shelter?
He says, yes, I was headed to the frozen lake. There's a ranger's lodge there.
Well, let's go there.
Great. If this goes south, we retreat that way.
He says, yes, south.
All right.
Ah,
Wait, I turn to Paulton and I'm like, oh, go ahead.
When you look back, you see the orcs have stopped
Oh.
on that ridge, and they take what appear to be javelins off their back and stick them in the snow next to them.
it seems like
They are preparing to just start hurling.
Oh no. Get behind the trees.
All right, let's
What
roll
was that
initiative.
plan you said you had?
Okay.
Cut the tree and then I'll push it on them.
Oh, that's a
Push
good
it.
one.
Thank you.
Also, Paulton, don't forget you have a blessed weapon from our Lord Lathander to help you at your side.
oh, neat.
All right,
What was that?
Evelyn, what's your initiative?
It is 7.
Strix.
It's 5.
Ooh, DF.
18.
All right, Paulton.
Also 18.
Okay. We'll assume DF is the A and Paulton is the B. So,
Fair enough.
and our dwarf is a little faster than I thought. Okay, so DF, you are the first to react. What would you like to do? The orcs haven't hurled anything yet, but it's very clear that they're about to start whipping javelins at you.
All right. Not forgetting the fact that I'm still a little frozen, so my movement speed is halved.
That's correct.
First thing I'm going to do is actually start climbing one of the nearby trees.
Okay, now these are basically evergreen trees, but a lot of their needles are kind of up at the top, so they kind of look like tall trunks with old dead branches going up
Okay.
20, 30 feet before you get to any of the actual cover.
Wait, was how high up? I'm sorry.
They range from about 20, 30 feet before you start getting up into the needles.
All right.
You can see they're all the trees are sort of weighted with snow.
Right. Okay. Well, I'll use my cunning action to dash climb then.
Okay.
So double my movement speed back up to normal.
Okay.
And then I'll get up to there just to get any kind of height advantage.
Yep.
If
Okay.
there is a way to hide a little bit or anything I can use to disguise myself so that I'm not in plain sight, that'd be great.
You do have, if you, like you say, take the dash and use all the movement that you have, you can get up into some of the lower cover and at least have some concealment.
Okay. I'm gonna do that.
All right. Would you like to do anything else, or can you do anything else at this point?
I don't think I can really
Okay.
do much.
All right. So, Paulton, you see your friend Dieth scurry up a tree.
Okay. How far are they?
They're still a good distance away. What I said actually meant 100 feet. They're about 100 feet away.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and maybe just kind of there's like trees and stuff around. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna cast invisibility on myself.
Okay. You turn invisible. The only thing that gives you away is your breath and your footprints in the snow.
Cool. And then can I also like get behind a tree?
Sure, absolutely.
Sweet.
All right, so you deke behind a tree. So Paulton disappears, but you hear the crunching of snow as he stomps off behind a tree.
He did a leave.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right, the dwarf. And he says, he shouts at the orcs, I am not alone anymore. Not so easy a pickings after all. And then he gives you sort of a beaming smile, and you can see a bunch of his teeth are missing, and looks like he's been hit in the face with a few rocks.
Aw.
And
I give him an encouraging nod. Yeah.
and he looks at you and he says, "Orcs suck at throwing the javelins. They'll come to us soon enough." And then next, you see the orcs start to hurl the javelins in your direction.
Of course.
One of them comes right for Zog and slams him right in the shoulder.
But wait,
You suck at this.
I impose my protection fighting style on him, so I impose disadvantage on that attack.
Okay, well, as it happens, the orcs already have disadvantage because they are at long range. So despite your attempt to block it, somehow it gets through.
Darn.
It's a good try.
I tried.
And but it doesn't look like Zog is dead. It looks like he kind of took a wound and it just sort of is grinning and bearing it at the moment. Another javelin comes in his direction. Again, it's at disadvantage and it misses. Then one comes in your direction, Evelyn. And that's going to be a 19.
Ah! It hits.
Disadvantage. Okay. You take 6 points of damage from the javelin.
Ooh.
Yeah, they suck at those javelins, all right.
A second one will come for you and miss. And two will be aimed at Paulton, even though he's invisible. One of them, Paulton, you heard it whistle through the woods, coming not even close to you, and the other one did no better. Diath, you're kind of up in the tree. You've got cover, so that improves your armor class by 2. A couple javelins whiz past you, but none of them come close to hitting you. And the 2 remaining javelins are targeted at Strix. One of them goes way wide, and another one, Strix, sticks in the tree next to your chest. It's a
No!
And that takes us to you, Evelyn. What would you like to do?
I fly toward them, like up.
Yep.
Not like directly. Well, yeah, I do. I go like, if the orcs are here, I like fly up to the line here, and I'm like, you better just stop throwing those javelins at my friends, or I'm going to be forced to use my axe on you, and I really don't want to. I'm sure that we could get along if we just talk about this, and we're all servants of the light of Lathander anyway. So I'm just basically like holding action with Lightfall.
So as you make a steady ascent to keep a safe distance from them, how close do you want to be to them at the end of your light?
How far was I from them?
So you were about 100 feet away, and with your wings of flying, you've got a speed of... don't remember.
It's like as fast as I can walk, or a little faster.
Yeah, you got a... you have a flying speed equal to your walking speed, which right now, because you are half speed, you would have to use your entire movement to basically go 30 feet.
Okay. So I just kind of go
Yep.
out of, 30 feet at an angle.
Yep, that won't get you above the tree line, but it will get you close enough to them and make you a more visible presence. Okay, and then Strix. So you can't see Paulton, but you kind of know where he is. You can kind of see Diath up in the tree, and you know where Evelyn is because she's calling out to the orcs and telling them to behave themselves.
And I can see the orcs. Like
You can
all
see
of
the
them.
lineup of orcs, just a line of them about 100 feet away.
Nice. I'm gonna just straight up fireball them right in the face. I'm gonna feel really good about it too because I'm angry that they almost hit me with their stupid stick.
And we're cold, so.
And we're cold. We're cranky.
A fireball detonated sort of in the middle of them can hit 6 of them.
Perfect. Good enough.
What's the save DC?
Hold on. I don't know where my fireball card went. Oh, for me, you mean my save DC?
Yeah, what's your save DC?
14.
Okay. All right, and you can roll damage.
All right, cool. Let me get my D6. First fireball of the thing.
Yes.
Just right in those orcs' face.
Turn early.
Yep.
5, 4, and 2.
5, 4, and 2.
And 6, 4, and 3.
Okay.
5 and 4.
And 9. So that's going to be 24, and 9 is 33 points of damage.
Nice.
All right.
Take that.
So half of them failed and get immersed in the blossom of flame that erupts from the ground at their feet.
Surprise!
Yes.
I'm
There
just
it is.
yelling like, I just wanted brunch.
All right. So, much to these orcs' chagrin, even the ones who save are so consumed by flame that they drop in and fall into the snow as burning corpses. So 6 of them are dead.
I told you that was going to happen if you kept hurting my friends. May you be welcomed into the light.
That's not what I did. I killed them.
And the dwarf just, the fireball reflected in his dark eyes just says, "Holy shit." And that brings us back to Diath.
Well, I was going to do something real cool if it came this way. How tightly packed are these trees? Am I able to get from branch to branch to make my way towards them by chance? Or is it too open?
No, you might be able to do that once. But after that, generally the trunks are about 20, 30 feet apart.
I figured. All right. I'm going to chill right here.
Okay.
If they come charging, I'll be ready for them.
Okay.
So I'll have an action ready where if they come nearby me enough, like underneath me, I'll do a thing. And it'll be sweet.
All right.
We'll hold our breath.
Yep.
Damn it.
So Paulton, you're behind the tree. You still got your little burning torch and your wine flask. What would you like to do, if anything?
They're still same distance, yeah?
They are.
Okay, I too was hoping they would make an approach, but that changes things. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cast a hypnotic pattern on them.
Okay. What's the range of that?
120 feet.
Excellent. Okay. Do. There we go. Weaves through the air inside a 30-foot cube within range. So, since Strix killed a bunch in the middle, you can either take the 2 on your far left or the 2 on the far right.
Let's go left.
Okay.
Why not?
Those ones are a bit closer to you. All right, and they have to make a wisdom saving throw. What's your saving throw? Never mind, they both failed.
All right.
Fantastic.
All right. And so, as a consequence of their failure, they are charmed by you for the duration. While charmed, they are incapacitated and have a speed of 0 as they gaze at this hypnotic lights that have materialized before them.
Hey, this looks cool, right?
Whoa.
Is that all of them?
So there are 2 left that aren't within the effect of Paulton's hypnotic pattern that are still fight-worthy. Evelyn, I'd like you to make a perception check.
I'm usually not very perceptive, Chris. 10.
Okay, you're right.
They are still on fire.
Those are orcs. We
Yes.
are fighting.
And the dwarf, now seeing that the 2 of the orcs are bewildered and 6 of the orcs are flaming pyres, looks at you and he says, "You," or sorry, not you, Evelyn. He looks at the rest of the party, Strix and Dieth in particular, and says, "I got these ones," and begins stomping.
His little stumpy
Oh
legs.
no!
Little stumpy legs through the snow toward the 2 remaining. And he's able to get 40 feet closer to them. So he's about 60 feet away.
I like to imagine he's got his warhammer out. His sister like to hop back and forth with it. Just
Yes. At that point in time, the 2 remaining orcs, not wanting to get fireballed again, forego their remaining javelins, pull forth their great axes, and charge down the escarpment toward the dwarf. And they are able to close the distance using all of their action and movement. So you just see this screaming dwarf, "Ah!" these screaming orcs, basically running to a head.
Cool.
Oh, he's gonna die.
Yes.
It was sweet while it lasted.
Don't let him die. He knows where we can get warm.
How much closer did these orcs come now since they've met this dwarf halfway?
They are now 40 feet away from you.
I could probably make that work.
Evelyn, you didn't see where this effect came from, but a ghostly spear appears in the air next to you and attacks you, seemingly of its own volition.
Like
seems
jabby
worse.
jabby by itself.
Yep. A phantom spear.
Stop that!
All right.
I can't block it or anything.
Well, your AC comes into play as normal. It's making an attack against your armor class. It rolled a 16, which
So I use my Wonder Woman bracers and
Yep. All right. You deflect the ghostly spear, and it remains floating next to you in a provocative, attacky manner. You get the sense that this is some sort of magical effect or spell effect.
Do I know if orcs do magic?
You could I'll let you make either a intelligence history or intelligence nature.
Let's go with history.
Actually, I'll even let you make an intelligence intelligence religion check if you want.
Which is better? History and religion are both the same. So
Okay,
I
so
got
whatever.
20.
Oh, very good. So you are vaguely familiar. You're familiar with the spell. It's called Spiritual Weapon. It is a favored spell among clerics, and if there are spell-casting orcs, they tend to be shamanistic, and they tend to worship a god named Grumsh, orc god of battle, a one-eyed orc god of battle.
If this is you, Grosh, Lathander is going to have a word with you for talking to servants that way.
But you do not see the caster. And at this time, it is your turn, Evelyn. Now you know that this is a spell effect. You can't really do any damage to it.
Even with a magic weapon or anything.
You could dispel it if you had a dispel magic spell, but it's like, it's not substantial, and your attacks would just sort of pass through it.
I guess I just charge away from it, like down over the orcs, looking for if I see the spellcaster.
Okay. You can make another perception check.
Come on, big money. Of course not. That's a 10.
You do not see the spellcaster.
Of course.
All right. But now you're sort of flying over the orcs and the dwarf.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose, do I still have an action at that point?
You were using your action to try to find the spellcaster. Strix. The only threats that you can see are the two orcs that have just sort of collided with the dwarf.
Oh, geez. And I don't see the javelin messing with Evelyn.
You would see the spiritual weapon effect, yes,
Okay.
because it's kind of following her.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and cast see invisibility on myself.
Okay.
To see if I can see if there's any. If I know it's a magic effect and I can't see the caster, I'm gonna see if I can see them around me or Evelyn.
Right. Okay. When you cast that spell, it has a duration of 1 hour. It does not require concentration, and you see invisible creatures as if they were visible. You can make a perception check to see if you could spot the caster.
All right. Oh, don't do too bad now. 13.
You do not.
Ugh. Disappointed.
All right.
I was ready. I was readying a snowball to throw it at it. So you just see me holding a snowball, like I'm
Just
gonna get
packing
him.
a snowball. All right.
Better save this for later.
Yeah.
Diath,
Yes.
your turn has arrived.
Great.
So
So
40 feet away.
I sense no other presence of orcs aside from the two fighting the dwarf and the two mesmerized ones.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the ones fighting our little dwarven friend, are they close enough that I could say, run down a branch, jump off of it, and come up straight down with a sword onto one of them?
No, because you have suffered the effects of the extreme cold.
What if I dash using my cutting action?
Ooh.
Because that's just short.
So that would effectively double your move. They are 40 feet away, and you would have then a total move of 30 feet.
Damn it.
You're not Naruto enough.
Damn it, Nate. That makes it worse. All right. Well, I still have the height advantage.
You do.
Just the idea. I'm sorry about that beeping. That's me.
Yeah, no worries.
Is your house burning down?
No, I think that's the electrician backing out to make sure our house doesn't burn. All
Oh.
right. So idea is from up here, ultimate cover. Take out the throwing dagger.
Uh-oh.
Throw it at one of the orcs.
Okay.
It's all
First dagger throw of the year.
Yeah.
Whiff. These orcs are wearing thick hide armor.
And they're also beeping.
This always goes well.
And they're backing up, yes.
Oh no, Jared, no.
Wait, hold on. 2 plus 4 is 6.
All right. You hurl the dagger, and somewhere behind the orcs, it just sort of goes poof into the snow.
Oh, it's going to take me forever to find that.
Good try, though, Diab.
Damn
We're
it.
getting better, I'm sure.
Okay.
Were you aiming at the snow?
Yeah, you got the snow good.
Why do I hang out with you guys?
Paulton, as
Mhm.
you're behind the tree, you see the orcs are about 40 feet away from you, engaged in combat with the dwarf.
Cool. So if they're 40 feet, then I'd be able to move 30 and hit them with something with a 15-foot range, right?
Yes, you would. And obviously that would, your concentration on the hypnotic pattern would end and it would just play out.
Fair enough. And the ones near me are going at it with our new friend.
Okay. Yep.
But he's still looking. He's got some like pep in his step. Still, he's looking healthy, right?
Yeah, the dwarf was wounded by an initial javelin hit, but he seems to have a lot of vitality left.
Okay. Then chaotic neutral. I'm gonna run up and thunderwave.
All right. Strix, you see these feet appear in the snow. They
Oh,
move
I can
towards
see
you.
him because of my.
Oh, that's right. You've got your invisibility thing up. So, yeah. You see shimmering Paulton run through the snow, stop 15 feet away from the orcs, and then blast them with a wave of sound.
Ah!
Oh, can I also cast? Am I able to cast that level 2?
Yeah, you sure can.
Cool.
All right. So the orcs make some saving throws. Okay. They are both going to save and both take half damage from this.
Great. Great. All right. So
But you are casting at a higher level, so you got 3 dice.
half of 13.
So 6 each. All right, they are blasted by it, but remain where they don't get pushed back, and they are both still standing. At this
Well,
point in time, the dwarf will try to wall up one with his warhammer and succeed. And he bashes one of the sound-addled orcs and kills it.
whoa.
Boom, right in the skull.
I'm not impressed.
That leaves
I'm impressed.
That leaves one orc. That leaves one orc fighting, and it is the orc's turn. He is going to retaliate for his dead friend by attacking. Oh my goodness! He rolled a natural 20 against this orc.
Whoa.
Okay.
Cool.
That changes the complexion of things. So
Is our
that's-
dwarf friend just dead? So much for that.
Your dwarf friend lets out a gasp and sort of spins around and falls back into the snow. And there is a big, wide stream of blood that flashes out from his body and just streaks across the white snow.
That is not great.
Am I still right next to all this?
You're 15 feet away from all this, yeah.
I'm just like, oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it almost looked like for an instant that the orc was going to take the dwarf's head clean off,
Oh.
but instead
Shit.
didn't quite do that. And then it is Evelyn's turn.
We really are bad at keeping NPCs alive.
You see the dwarf kind of reflexively twitch in the snow.
See, at this point, we just can't get attached to anyone.
Right. That's why I'm like observing with this kind of detached, like, huh.
Oh no. Even Evelyn doesn't care anymore.
Evil is jaded.
Game of dice.
I go for the orc that just walloped him with
Okay.
with Lightfall.
Okay.
Newly enchanted Lightfall,
Yes.
if I recall
You
correctly.
pull out your daylight shimmering super axe. All right, and you descend upon this orc. With,
Ooh, nice. 23.
oh yes.
So if I remember correctly, that means I do D8 plus 4 damage plus 2d6 radiant damage now.
Gosh.
That sounds right.
Yeah, so your weapon now has the properties of a mace of disruption, which let me just look that up again. Make sure I get it right. So when you hit a fiend or an undead, that takes 2d6 radiant damage extra.
Oh.
So and you can cause the weapon to deal and to shed bright light. So it doesn't deal extra damage to the orc.
Gotcha.
The orc is neither a fiend nor an undead.
I
Okay.
don't know. He took down the dwarf. That was quite fiendish of him.
That was very fiendy.
Yeah.
But I did 8 damage.
Okay, that leaves a grievous wound on the orc, who looks like he can barely hold his axe and barely keep to his feet, but somehow he has the will to stand before you still.
Don't worry, you'll meet our Lord Lathander soon.
Stop.
Wow.
All right. At that point in time, the spectral spear comes down and tries to impale you in the back, Evelyn.
I forgot about that thing.
This time it's going to roll a 22.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
And it does 10 points of piercing damage to you.
Ow! Stop that.
It's like nothing to you, I think.
It's smarts.
All right.
Now, Strix, you're still kind of looking around, trying
Yes.
to pay attention to where this effect is coming from. So I'll give you another perception check.
In all of my fearful glory.
Yep.
All right, that was 14.
You do not see what is causing this effect.
Still got that snowball on my hand.
Yep. And Strix, you're up.
All right. But the orc is still standing, correct?
He is. He is
Okay.
barely keeping to his feet at this point. You think a snowball could kill him?
Is it really?
Do it!
Okay, I'm just gonna grab a little rock and put it in there and just go.
All right.
Throw it at him.
Okay.
Like one of those mean ones that like kids throw with rocks in them.
Yep. Okay, so a snowball is an improvised weapon for you. So I'd like you to make an attack roll. Just add your dexterity modifier to the attack roll and roll 2 dice and take the lower result.
All right.
Because you have disadvantage with improvised weapons.
Oh, Strix, you gotta do it. You gotta do it.
12.
All right. All right. It just whips past his eyebrow. Just missed him.
I fail at everything.
Or if you prefer, it might like hit him in the shoulder guard. Just
Oh yeah, I definitely want to hit him in the shoulder guard.
Yeah,
Well, I know who I'm not gonna have on my snowball fight team.
Look, Dieth, I hit him at least.
you see him actually take the time out of his busy schedule to look at the shoulder guard and then look up at you with this sort of like confused, somewhat aghast
I'm gonna give him a really rude gesture.
look. And he just sort of, his lips curl up and he sneers at you.
I'm going through all my sigil rude gestures that I've learned.
Okay.
Chris, chat is very adamantly reminding me that I have a second attack.
Oh, okay. All right.
Whenever you want me to do that.
You can take that now if you like.
Quick, while he's distracted by snowball.
Yeah, I distracted him. That's what I did.
That's exactly it. 22.
You do hit him.
Hooray! And I do 8 damage again.
All right. Yes, you spill his blood upon the snow and he falls dead at your feet.
Oh, I was gonna.
I
try
do
this.
a quick little prayer for him to Lathander and ask that he take his soul and turn it into something less distasteful.
Maybe
Actually,
help the door first.
As she does that, I'm gonna throw another rock with a snowball at
Okay.
Evelyn.
Well, we're not out of combat yet because, as you know, there's still a spectral spear attacking Evelyn. But Evelyn, a snowball whizzes over your head.
Now's not the time, Strix. We'll play later.
All right. We are at DF now. DF,
I'm chill.
you two are aware that there must still be a threat present for that spear to be attacking Evelyn.
Right. From up here, can I do like a quick scan of what's nearby?
Sure. Make a perception check.
Be like, what the hell? Who is still? Natural 20.
Okay.
So perception is 28.
Right. You see sort of about 60 feet away from you, there appears to be another orc who is covered with white camouflage.
Ooh.
Son of a bitch.
And right now the orc is crouching down near a tree and kind of making a pointing gesture to indicate where the spear should attack next.
Okay. That's just so far away for cool to DF.
Poor old Dieth.
And it's probably far enough away that I can't really shift between trees to move closer at all.
Right.
All right. Well, that's certainly way too far to throw a dagger. Even if it was. All right. I'm just gonna. I'll swiftly descend the tree.
Okay.
And having the knowledge that I do, I'll point it out to Strix right away. Just say it's, over there, the white cloak, and hope loud enough so that the rest can hear, so that we can start pursuing him as fast as possible.
All right.
I'm like,
Good deal.
where?
DF is
The
dropped
white
from the
lumpy
tree.
thing.
DF dropped from the tree and is kind of heading off in a direction. You kind of
Yeah.
look in that direction, hoping to see something, but you haven't spotted it yet.
I'm not moving fast, but I'm getting there.
Right. Yes. Trudging is through the snow. Paulton,
Yes.
you can see DF is going off in a direction and sort of indicating where this other spellcasting orc is. If you'd like, you can make a perception check to see if you see it.
Sure.
I'm going to give you advantage on the roll.
Sweet. Well, first one's 19.
Well, there you go.
Second one's 2.
You are able to see it. This camouflaged white orc.
Cool. How far is he?
He would be about 45 feet away from you.
Okay. Blue, 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 blue. And I see that Dieth is going towards him.
Yeah, plotting toward him.
Okay. I'm gonna try to hypnotic pattern him.
Okay. Saving throw incoming. All right. What is that? Oh, that's good. Your hypnotic pattern seems to have spellbound him.
Sweet. I just tell him, he's like,
Awesome.
all right, he's distracted. Have fun.
Good.
All right.
Play nice.
And because it has incapacitated him, you see his spear just sort of discorporate and disappear.
Praise
Excellent.
Lathander.
Okay.
Okay.
So as long as Paulton
Snowball,
is
yeah.
concentrating on his hypnotic pattern for up to and including 1 minute, this creature is basically incapacitated. So we're going to drop out of initiative. Is there anything that you'd like to do, Evelyn?
Yeah, I go lay on hands on our little dwarf friend.
All right. How many hit points would you like to give him?
10.
All right. When you do, his lungs fill with wonderful, wonderful snow and air as he inhales deeply. And you see, yes, he in fact is still alive. And as he lifts his head once more up out of the snow, he says, "You are an angel."
Not quite yet, but
I roll my eyes so hard that they just like practically fall out of my face.
I make my way over there and start
Yep.
really pathetically searching through the snow for a throwing dagger.
Just make a perception check to see if you can.
Look, I lose these things all the time, and like we don't have a whole lot of money. I don't want to spy anymore. Oh, 26.
You find it.
Yay!
Got it.
Can I loot the shaman orc? Can I see if he has any magic stuff?
Yeah, when you go over to him, you can see he's just standing there looking at the lights, obviously entranced, slack-jawed, his big tusks just sort of hanging there. And you can see that he's basically wearing what looks like a net covered with bits of ice that he sort of made this camouflage cover for himself.
It's pretty smart.
Yeah, he does seem to have a brain in him. And when you search him, you can see that he has what appears to be a crude amulet around his neck. It's held in place with a rope, and the amulet is just carved out of a rock. And it's kind of diamond shape. It has a chisel mark in it to suggest like an eyeball.
Ooh,
Very, very
like
crude.
I like that. I'll take it.
Yeah. All right. When you pick it up, it weighs like about 5 pounds. So it's a
5
little.
pounds. I put it down.
You can also see leaning up against the tree next to him is a very big spear, the handle of which is wrapped in the skins of God knows what. The other thing you notice is that he does have what appears to be a kind of a crude wine flask on his belt, a good-sized one. And that's about it.
All right.
How long can you keep him hypnotized, Paulton? How long does that last?
About a minute.
Yep.
All right,
take-
quickly bind them.
Okay, I'll take the wine flask and then bind his hands.
Okay. That you're able to do.
Do you want me to carry that amulet for you? Is it too heavy, Strix?
I don't want it. It's weird and it's heavy.
Okay.
I mean, I like it, but I'm not going to wear it because it'll probably make my head sag because I'm
Yeah.
real small.
I
It
don't
looks
know.
like to you, Evelyn, it looks like a crude holy symbol.
Does it cause any do I not like holy symbols of other gods, or is it just
No, this one doesn't seem to have any particular. You don't have any aversion to it. It's just a representation of another god.
Okay.
I'm going to hand Paulton the wine flask and be like, I got you a present.
Hey.
His favorite.
You're like, orc wine. That must be good.
So the orcs that we're fighting, you said they were covered in like furs and cloaks and things. Anything that we could use for warmth or to help keep us warmer?
As a matter of fact, I'm glad you mentioned that. It looks like they basically decked themselves out with all kinds of bear skin furs and wolf furs. So you can basically pillage their furs and dress yourself up in some warm
Right.
apparel.
It's not going to smell the best, but it's going to keep us warm. So everyone put these on.
It does not smell the best, but you're
Evelyn
absolutely
does
right. As soon as you put them on, you realize this is really the best thing to do.
Yeah. It's like, oh.
Strix will smell them and be like, I don't smell anything. I don't know why.
Evelyn pokes around till she finds the cleanest, whitest one, which is probably not very clean or white, but she very gingerly puts it on.
Yeah, certainly the cleanest one, because you can't really salvage the burnt ones.
Right.
But you have 4 others that have varying degrees of blood on them. But the shaman's is pretty well intact. So, and it seems to be the nicest of the bunch, Evelyn.
The one who's still alive?
Yep.
I don't take it because he's using it.
Okay.
Fine, freeze.
Right. And now that once the spell effect wears off and he's tied up, he immediately starts to try to pull and free himself of the bonds, even though he knows he can see you plainly looming over him. He just instinctively.
Now, calm down. Otherwise, we're going to have to take your cloak and let me wear it, and then you're going to freeze to death. So I'm sure that's something you don't want.
I play.
You can see that he settles down a little bit after a minute of pulling valiantly against the heavy ropes.
All right. I'll take out the short sword and, hold it to the throat, keep him threatened. And just like, well, hello there. Why were you chasing our friend?
Murak no wash.
Anyone get that?
No.
I think he said he has a rock to wash.
That's not her, too. Doesn't seem very relevant.
Norak.
Yeah, shut up.
He's speaking Orcish, presumably, right?
Yes.
I don't know that. Anyone?
I don't speak Orcish.
Our dwarven ally, since he has had many run-ins with the orcs, perhaps he knows something of their language? Maybe?
Yeah, Zog will come over, and he's still obviously sporting a very nasty gash in his armor. It's healed over, but he might actually have a scar. So he comes stumbling over, and he says, "He hasn't said anything worth listening to yet. Insults mostly."
That's very rude. We're probably going to retaliate. We have a tendency to do that.
Not even sure if he understands us. What exactly is that you need from him? I say to the dwarf, asking him if he needs anything from the orc.
The dwarf says, "I don't need anything from him. They must have been following my tracks."
What do they want from you?
He says, "Probably my meat."
They eat dwarfs?
Yes, these are blood axe orcs.
That is not acceptable.
Well, can we find somewhere warm? I'm cold.
I agree. We'll deal with him first. And you know what? He's not our prisoner to deal with, so I'm going to leave this one up to you since he was your enemy.
That makes sense.
He says, the dwarf says, "Let us tie him to a tree and let the predators have him."
Damn.
That's pretty savage.
Would you mind asking him if I could have his cloak since he's going to be dead soon anyway?
The dwarf starts talking in Orcish to the orc. And you see, at this point in time, something has dawned on the shaman. The shaman's become kind of quiet and still. And just sort of looking at you under his heavy brow, watching you very closely, trying to understand what he's actually up against here. And when the dwarf insists on him on taking his cloak, in fact, you're not even sure if the dwarf asked the orc. But the dwarf just starts removing the orc's cloak, but the orc does not seem to protest.
That's so nice. Thank you.
All right.
Everyone just basically has some good in them.
Can I do an insight check to see if I feel like the dwarf is lying to us?
Sure.
I don't trust him because he doesn't have sense or legs. That's what is that plus again? The insight? Oh, whatever we.
Wisdom.
That's right. Okay, well, I don't have any wisdom. 12.
Okay. You don't get the sense that the dwarf is lying. In fact, the dwarf seems rather giddy about this turn of events. He thought it was going to be orc food, and everything's gone his way. You do get a slight sense that there is such kind of disappointment in the orc. You almost get the sense that the orc thinks that that depriving him of his furs is actually doing him a favor.
Something weird.
There's something weirdly fatalistic about this.
I think the orc wants to die.
You sort of get that sense.
Oh.
I don't know much about.
Take his cloak, Evelyn.
All right, thanks.
I don't know much about.
The dwarf says something else to the orc that has sort of a gloating quality to it, and the dwarf starts laughing.
I don't really know much about orc customs. I don't know if they're like, do they get like dishonored or anything and prefer death over captivity, or?
You don't know really what's going through this orc's mind.
Well, I would let him go, but I fear him finding allies and continuing to chase us, especially how easy it would be for him to track us through this snow.
Yeah.
Generally when someone attacks us, they should expect that, we're going to have to defend ourselves. And if they're that mean and the way they are, then perhaps they're better off finding the light of the morning, Lord, and being reborn into a new dawn.
Okay, time to leave.
All right, so what's the plan with the orc? What have you guys decided to do?
I will let the dwarf pass judgment onto him to have him do what he sees fit.
Yeah, the dwarf would like to have the orc tied to the tree and left.
All right. Let's do that.
Let Winter have him.
I'll use some of my rope, cut off a half of it, and use that to tie this orc around a tree. And
the dwarf says, given the orc's predicament, he's more likely to freeze to death before he's eaten. But whatever.
Good. That'll give him time to think about his actions.
Cool.
I say a little prayer over him as I leave. May Lathander bless you as you pass into the light.
Awesome. Okay, and you leave the orc behind. Once you're kind of now bundled up in your furs, you do feel you don't have to make any more immediate checks against the extreme cold, but you might want to keep your torches handy if you still have them.
Yeah.
All right, and the dwarf says, "My name is Zog."
Nice to meet you, Zog. You mentioned earlier that you're on your way to a ranger camp of sorts. May we accompany you?
There is a range or a lodge by the frozen lake.
That's great. We desperately need safe shelter for the night.
There is a blizzard coming over the glaciers to the north. We need to get there before we get lost in it.
Also, Zog, where are we?
He says, "You're in the cold wood."
I could have told you that.
I mean, like, where? Like, what world? Like, where? Like, she stomps in the ground. Like, where?
He says, "You're in the land of Lurar, but also known as the Northern Silver Marches."
Oh, I think we're home!
Good!
Cool.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, we're home,
Home-ish.
but we're not home. But
Says, "You are obviously very powerful. I could use your help."
Well, we could use a lodge to stay in, so I think there's a mutual benefit that we could have here. If you could lead us to a lodge, we will listen to your plight.
"Yes, I will lead you to the lodge," he says, and he goes over and picks up the bundle that he dropped and kind of rewraps it. And as you take a closer look, they're not crutches, they're stilts.
Just dwarf on stilts is a funny image.
You
He's
You see,
Barbie.
one of them looks like it's busted or it's broken. It
Yeah.
sort of hangs kind of limply, whereas the other one's rigid. But he picks it all up, he bundles it all back up in his blanket and slungs it over his shoulder. And he's still got his big backpack on. And he's put his hammer away, and he starts to trudge on his stumpy ankles through the snow.
How'd you lose your legs?
Strix. Oh,
I slipped and I fell.
Oh, okay.
One of my stilts is broken.
No, I mean like originally. Like where did they go?
Oh, the frostbite.
Ah!
okay, let's get to that lodge.
Ah!
That's brutal.
Okay.
Just starts walking faster. Like
All right.
That felt like it could have been a cool story.
No pun intended.
Ah.
So you come to the frozen river, as Evelyn expected, and you follow that river down to a great frozen lake surrounded by woods on all sides. And on the very far side of that lake, you can just make out some sort of structure, a house, good size, a decent sized one, not a small teeny weeny cabin, but a fairly large, steep roofed cabin. And it's got snow clinging to that roof. But there doesn't seem to be any hint of activity. It looks like an old, kind of almost like Viking lodge.
Neat.
And it's on the far side of the lake. So he begins to make his way across this icy lake, and you see almost immediately he has a few problems, balance-wise, because he's just walking on stumps, basically. And his leg stumps are bundled up, like he's wearing almost like little sacks around them.
this is so
Tied off, but he does have a little bit of problems, and so he's moving very slowly, very cautiously, his legs very close together, like tick, 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 tick.
Oh,
Get him lay on his back and push him like a curling iron.
oh no! Can we put him on Morning Glory? So it's
I was
not
just
sad?
gonna say, Zog, do you want to ride on my horse, Morning Glory here?
I've never been on a horse before.
Well, there's a first time for everything.
Okay, let's do it now.
I give him a boost up.
All right, this dwarf is like, oh my god, he must weigh like 260 pounds. He's like really dense. So you're just like struggling to get him up there, and he kind of gets up, and then he kind of goes over the other side. You're just sort of lolling him back and forth on this horse. Fortunately, Morning Glory seems to be pretty sure-footed even across the snowy ice of the lake.
That's
Just
because
laughing.
she's an amazing spirit horse.
Yep. And as you make your way across the lake, you can see the blizzard coming down from over the northern glaciers and mountains. It's going to be upon you in about an hour or so. So you're making good time, and you'll have no trouble getting to the lodge. When you get about halfway across the lake, you hear those sort of dreadful sounds that happen when you're walking across ice of unknown depth. The sort of
This is fine. We're fine.
Everything's fine.
I am light-footed. I'll be fine.
Although I will say, does Morning Glory weigh anything?
it's the horse has weight, but it's distributed.
Okay.
Wouldn't it be funny though?
Can we go
Real-
faster?
Real careful, everyone.
All right. So as you shimmy across the ice, and cracks, deep cracks seem to form across its surface now and then, I'd like you all to make perception checks.
I also float along behind Strix and try, without her noticing, to grab like one of these strings or rags that's coming off the back of her cloak. So just in case she were to fall through the ice, I would have because I'm flying with my flying boots. So I'd just like have her hovering just in case. So I'm just holding on to a little like leash on Strix without her noticing if I can.
Okay.
I think it's a bug, and I'm just like,
It's a perception, right?
Yep, perception.
19.
For once, I actually perceive something. I got 19 too.
Excellent. You do.
I got a 3.
Strix doesn't see it.
14.
Busy with the bug.
Paulton sees one thing, but not the other. All right. So Paulton, Diath, and Evelyn, as you're making your way across, and the dwarf is really just sort of grabbing onto the mane of the horse to keep himself steady, because he does feel odd not being on his feet. The three of you notice to your right, where the frozen river kind of flows out of the lake, you see a creature just sort of watching you, not threatening in any way, and really quite distant. He's about maybe 150 yards away, but it's clearly a bear, which has the head of an owl.
It sounds real cute.
Yeah.
No, probably best if we don't do that.
No. So
He's chilling. He's just chilling. We'll let him chill.
that's him.
Oh, I love him.
Look at him.
He's my favorite monster.
Getting excited for the wrong reasons.
I know.
And it's got the look of a creature that, came to the lake to maybe scoop out some fish or something and realized, oh yeah, it's winter.
Aw.
And it's just sort of staring down at the lake and kind of looking across the lake at you, but in kind of a non-threatening, sort of passive way.
Strix, what if we could catch it and tame it, and then you could ride it?
I would
No.
love that.
Focus. We're getting to the lodge so we don't freeze to death. We're not going to have a wild owl bear in there with us just so you can pet it.
Strix is just
Why
imagining
not?
like, this glorious riding into the sunset on top of the owl bear.
Of
It's
course.
like,
Yeah.
Come on, Diaz. We just beat Strahd. We got to celebrate a little bit.
Her celebration is sleeping in a warm place tonight.
The only thing that the owlbear does as you cross the lake is it kind of makes its way down to the lake itself and just kind of paws and scratches at the ice. But that's it.
Oh, he can't find food. We should help him.
It does seem like a very sad thing.
oh no, is he
Oh,
He's
my God.
hungry. Look at his nukes.
Both of you, really?
quick? How about
It is around this time when Strix, Evelyn, and Dieth notice that there is another creature in the area, flying high overhead, sort of moving through low clouds, and it is a gigantic white dragon.
Oh, we should pet it and tame it, and then we can ride it, you guys. Wouldn't that be great? Get in the lodge.
If someone could point this out to me, it would be much.
They're like, let's see how long it takes for Paulton to know that the dragon is flying overhead. And it seems to be heading in the direction of the blizzard.
We can't leave Strix's pet owlbear out where the dragon could eat it.
But you guys are like dark figures in the middle of this white, flat, completely open expanse.
Oh,
Move. We're moving. Slowly and carefully. We're getting to the lodge. We're safe from the lodge. We're safe from the lodge.
All right, ignoring the sounds of the ice below for fear of the dragon above, you hastily shimmy across the remainder of the lake to the point where you can now get ashore and make your way up through the snow, which is heavier here. When you get closer to the lodge, you notice some distinguishing features. First of all, it kind of looks like that.
how quaint.
Aw.
There are some, amid the snow-covered surroundings, you see there's a hole punched through the roof of the lodge at one point. You're not sure what made it, but you assume it was something heavy and large. You also notice scattered around the lodge large boulders that are not covered with snow.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
I'm sure this is great.
This place looks welcoming.
There is no smoke coming out of the chimney and no hints that anybody's present. The door to the lodge is wide open.
Well,
As you
just
make your way up through the crunchy snow, other than some distant owls, you hear nothing.
Maybe it's so warm in there they had to crack the door to let some cold air in.
Hopefully. Hold on here for a second.
You see that the dragon has altered its course away from the blizzard and is circling back around toward the lake.
No, the owlbear.
oh no.
No,
sure they're
us.
friends.
Everyone in the lodge. I'm gonna get up to the lodge and actually poke my head in real quick just to see if there's anything in disarray, if there's someone in there or weirdly trapped. I don't know if people would do that. I don't think that'd be the case, but just to be sure, it's safe for all of us.
All right. You can see that when you look through the open doorway, it's one big, large room inside with high rafters. And there is a fire pit, a fireplace toward the back of this place. There is also a long table that sort of dominates the middle of the room with benches along its sides. In almost like there are stalls off to the left and right. They could be used for horses, or they might actually double as sleeping stalls, but you see they're full of hay, fresh hay. And the smell of hay and the smell of smoke and old burnt meat fill this place. You can also see that there is light coming in through the big hole in the roof, and a large boulder sits in a smashed up section of this room. Obviously, it was the thing that punched through the ceiling. Something must have thrown it or dropped it.
Wonderful. All right.
But you see no evidence of anyone present.
Great. This is the warmest that will be for the night, so everyone get inside.
What about the owl bear?
He's
Strix,
been
I'll
out
go
here
with you.
far longer than us, so I think he'll be okay, Strix. We'll see him in the morning, okay?
Okay.
Just get in.
All right.
All right, you
We
pile
could
in.
just reduce him and have a little owl bear.
No, that's not how it works.
Fine.
You're so mean.
Those of you who are sort of kind of looking around the surroundings can see that all around the lodge as well, you see evidence of oversized footprints.
How oversized?
Footprints of such size that they would suggest a humanoid creature of elephantine proportions.
There be giants.
Are they living in this house, maybe? Does it look like someone's been living in here?
It doesn't look like anything that big
Oh, good.
has been rooming here. Amid the giant tracks, and they're all over the place. Obviously, and they have very wide strides. You can see what appears to be a normal set of tracks, leading around the back of the lodge and away off into the woods. And you get the impression that whatever made those tracks was probably human-sized and was probably running.
Can I ask our dwarf friend and just be like, hey, just have you seen giants around here?
And he said, you see him say, "Oh, yes, I have."
Great.
And he says, "That brings me to why I could use your help."
Son of a bitch.
Nope.
And why is that?
He says, "I have to deliver a message to the king of the." He says, "To the king of the citadel,
Who's that king? What's his name?
Harnath of Adbar."
Harnath of Advar. What message do you need to bring him?
He says, "It is a message for his ears alone. But it involves the giants."
Are the giants a problem around here?
They are now.
What about dragons? You have a problem with dragons like that one?
He says, "The lizards are always a problem."
Lizards.
Strix, this is serious. Don't giggle at that.
Once he's in the lodge, you can see he kind of throws his big pack off his shoulders and kind of heaves it up on the table and starts emptying out stuff. And you can see he's got a shit ton of pots, pans, provisions, and other things that he's just sort of arraying out. It looks like he's getting supper ready.
Oh, that's great. Because we actually didn't have a great food solution.
He says, "I got you covered. I'm gonna whip up something tasty and good."
Is with
Hopes
so
are
I-
high.
I
He says,
know
"You like a gas?
Like what?
gas.
Yes.
Yes, you like a dwarven gas?"
Love it.
If you plan on doing that in here, you're gonna have to go outside, mister.
"Oh, I mean food.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
gas
well,
is dwarf for food."
yeah. Happily, please.
I didn't know that. Gas is
Right.
dwarven for food. That's
Yes, It's nice of them to leave us some fresher wood. And he starts to shove wood into the fireplace and try to get it lit with his tinderbox.
Yeah, let's all get a fire going, get ourselves warm. I know a boulder fell through it.
He's just sort of striking the tinderbox. He says, I kind of suck at this.
I'll help him. I'll do a little like boop, like fire. Yeah.
All right, you just light your finger and light the flames, and off you go. Yeah, you look at the boulder, DF. It came crashing through the roof and obviously just landed here. It flattened part of the. There's some walls that divide the inner stalls, and one of those walls just sort of lying in flinders underneath the wreckage. But you don't see any evidence that it hit anybody.
Okay. There's no real good way that we could possibly repair this roof to make sure snow doesn't get in.
That would be quite a bit of work at this point.
That's not worth it. It's not my lodge.
Yeah, and and the lodge is of a good enough size that even if the snow were to come through here, yeah, it'll be cold, but you're not going to get buried.
Okay, still better than being outside.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We could turn the boulder into a furnace. We could just build a fire all around it and heat up that rock.
Or, if we had someone that could, make a hut at some point, I'm sure that would be useful.
Possibly a magic hut.
I like the hut.
Leoman.
The sweet shack. Is that what
How
you
well
call
does
it?
your hut resist boulders?
Mordenkainen had a mansion.
Maybe we could find out.
What was it that we were calling the hut? It had a name.
Holton's
Waffle
Love Shack?
Hut.
Oh, yeah.
Waffle Hut.
The what?
Waffle Hut.
Oh, I thought it was something like Sweet Shack or something.
I thought it was Paulton's.
I like Paulton's Waffle Hut.
Yeah,
Okay.
Paulton's Waffle Hut.
Yeah.
Disclaimer, there are no waffles inside.
Very misleading.
And the dwarf says, I hope you like waffles, because that's all I have.
That's not all you have.
Shut
You're
up.
lying. This is a lie.
The waffles are always a lie.
He says, they're frozen, but we will thaw them.
How does this guy have frozen waffles? We're gonna die in here.
We've been waiting this long for waffles and we get freaking Eggos. We don't even get a Belgian.
I'm immediately suspicious.
I know a boulder's coming. Right when he says it, I'm like, oh, here it comes. I'm just gonna go look out the door.
Yeah.
It lands on one side of the table, so just catapults all the dishes.
All right. So the dwarf gets to work on food. He's cooking up the waffles. He's got like a metal iron waffle iron that he can put out over the flames to thaw them out. And
Of course he does.
yeah.
I'm sure we're going to get to eat those.
And then you hear the blizzard sort of hit overhead, and the snow begins to fall through the hole in the roof. But this fireplace is putting out a lot of heat, and the snow and the wind that comes into the lodge doesn't seem overly bothersome as long as you continue to wear your furs. And the roof kind of is becomes a sort of heat trap. And you can lay claim to certain stalls as beds. Strix, you have no problem sleeping in hay or under hay if you prefer.
Yeah.
And there are plenty of stalls for everybody.
I just follow Paulton into his stall and try to lay down and cuddle with him.
I'm already in the hut.
Yes, Paulton's big ass hut is this dome of energy that he can alter the lighting in.
Just plopped in the middle of everything too, just in
Yes.
the way of
And
everything.
it's temperature controlled, so the elements don't bother you at all.
There's Netflix in there too. Pretty sweet.
Yep.
Can any of us enter it, or is it closed off?
So you can enter it if Paulton is basically given. If you're in the effect when the spell is cast, you can come and go. The only one who can't come and go is Paulton, because as soon as he leaves the hut, it collapses.
Mhm.
But it doesn't look like he aims to anyway.
Nah, it's
And
nice.
The dwarf will hand out on his little tin platters his cooked waffles, and he's got syrup for them as well that he heats up over the fire, and he just drenches them in substance.
Yeah, that's how it's done.
Yep.
This is sounding pretty tasty. Evelyn's starting to
Fill every single one of those tiny pools of the waffle with syrup.
Yep.
and pure maple syrup too, because back then
Yes.
I'm sure this corn syrup crap hadn't even been invented.
Exactly.
It's like almost in tears with happiness. Just like
the sweet scents just start to fill up the entire lodge, and you're just so happy, and you're so happy.
oh my god, finally.
Everything's gonna be fine, guys.
Off in the blizzard somewhere outside, you hear a distinctive call. Not the owls that you heard earlier, but the sound that's sort of like, whoo!
Aww.
Strix, that's your owlbear.
And it sounds closer than you could have imagined, Strix.
Oh, is there a window I can like peep up, like longingly look out? Like
There are no windows. The only places that you can look out is if you maybe climb up on the boulder and leap up through the hole in the ceiling to look out through the roof, or crack open the front door.
I'll crack open the front door.
Or have an Evelyn flutter up.
Or yeah, Evelyn can flutter out of the hole and scope around.
Strix doesn't want to bother anyone. She just wants to longingly look out for her owl friend.
When you look out, you're struck by blustering winds and just a deluge of snow. It makes it really hard to see anything, but I will let you make a perception check to see if you hear anything.
Oh, 6.
Okay.
I do want to flutter up and look though, because I hear what I think is the owlbear, and I like really want to make friends with this owlbear for Strix.
Of course.
Yes, you flutter up through the roof. Again, your visibility is virtually nil in the blizzard, but you have good ears. Make a perception check.
It's been 10 like 3 times in a row.
You don't hear anything. The only signs you get that it's even in your area is when it makes that sort of whoo roar sound again.
Okay.
Strix is like crying, like, I want to help you, friend.
It's just out in the woods nearby, or it's
Just
close.
come join us if you need anything.
No doubt. After maybe about an hour, perhaps because the smells of the waffles have permeated outside at this point, you do hear it make that sort of a growly sound again outside, and it is much closer.
Can I leave my waffle out for it?
Yeah?
Okay, have we eaten the waffles yet?
There's like a sort of a snow... Well, he's got plenty.
Okay.
So you recall not too far outside the door was this snow-covered stump. You could sort of clear that off and leave a waffle on there.
That's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I'm going to do that.
Yes, you go out and immediately your cloaks and everything are caught up in the stiff wind, and Mr. Stinky runs back inside, and you go out to the stump and you clear it off, and you can't hear or see anything around you except the wailing of the wind and the snow just bashing against your face.
I'm trying to be there with her.
Okay. Yeah, you're levitating, floating out there next to her, your little wings flapping, and then you leave the waffle out on the stump. Then I guess you retreat back into
quickly.
Okay.
And I lock the door and I'm like, DF, I'm done. I'm done, okay? I feel
Are you?
better now.
Are you?
Yes, I'm done.
You're done? You're good?
Yes, I'm done.
Can we sit down and eat some damn waffles? Is that okay?
I don't like to see things go hungry. I'm just saying. I was
All
there.
right. Okay. No,
You're
I
a
understand.
compassionate person, Strix. That's why.
Okay.
But we should
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm gonna take my plate of waffles, and I say, what was the dwarf's name again?
Zog.
His name is Zog Splintershard, but he is often known among his fellow dwarves as Polynotos.
We're gonna go with Zog. Let's say Zog.
He says, "Well, only dwarves call me Polynotos, so you can call me Zog."
Great. So these waffles, I like smell them.
Yep.
I'm just like, by chance, are these blueberry?
What? Blueberry? He sort of mulls that over for a second, like he's never even heard of a blueberry before.
I scoff. I'm just like, ugh, of course. Well, that's it.
You're like, what milk were these made from? You don't want to know.
Was the cow treated nice?
Is it
All right.
from the bear owl?
So if Paulton's holding waffles, I kind of have some waffles. I'm kind of looking around like, is this the moment that we finally share waffles together? Break bread, as it were, or break waffles together?
It sure is, Evelyn. Let's take a seat, grab your knives and forks, everyone, and dig in.
That sounds delightful. Let's sit together and just...
Yeah. So you're all sitting at the well, maybe not Paulton because he's in his dome, but you're sort of sitting at the table and you're all cutting up and eating your waffles, just kind of smiling at each other.
Do we actually get bites of it? Are we actually eating waffles?
Oh yes,
right
you
now?
are actually eating waffles.
He
Waffles
loves
are
to
being
eat waffles.
How?
Chat.
I'm gonna
see
stuff. I'm gonna stuff like 5 of them in my robes.
I'm so happy I can cry.
I'm like, you've never seen someone eat as fast as Evelyn's eating. She's just like,
All manners out the window.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're all just watching like.
As you're eating, I'd like you all to make perception checks.
Uh-oh. Poison waffles?
And notice how delicious these are. You just
14.
No, they're not. They're not poisoned waffles.
I got a 6.
4.
Okay.
20.
Diath,
Yeah.
you hear a scratching noise. At first, you don't even pay any attention to it because you're chomping and people are rattling stuff, and the dwarf is banging his dishes and his waffle iron and all that kind of thing, and he's making all kinds of noise and burps and belches and shit. But the scratching noise sort of finally catches your eye, and you realize it's coming from somewhere up the fireplace chimney. And to you, it sounds like something crawling its way down.
I just suck raw to eat, and I just can't even. Okay.
And your mouth is like half full of delicious, delicious waffle.
I even do the thing like I put the knife and fork down, take my napkin, like angrily throw it at the table, and like, get up.
Dad's mad, guys.
Everybody else is confused. Zog looks at you with surprise, like, you don't like the waffles?
As I was like sneaking over towards the fireplace, I kind of look back and kind of like give a hand, just kind of like a shh.
You can hear the crackling of the fire in the fireplace, and it's putting out a lot of heat. And you hear even more as everybody else starts to quiet down, the sound of something pulling itself or dragging itself down through the chimney.
This is coming down the chimney that we have the fire at.
Yes.
Santa.
Santa likes his waffles.
I'm gonna very gently, slowly pull out the short sword. So
I'm gonna turn into a cloud. I'm a cloud.
All right, a misty form of Strix appears.
Evelyn's just like, and she just keeps eating waffles. Just
I'm in the hut and I'm just like, what's everyone freaking? Okay, whatever.
I am going to. I'm going to get to like the side of the fireplace.
Yep.
So whatever's coming down, if it comes out through that fireplace, I'll be like kind of off to the side of them, ideally, just kind of watching and waiting while listening for whatever the heck is going on.
Okay. While you wait, and all you hear is the sound of Evelyn.
She's in there alone.
Everyone's like silent and tense, and Evelyn's just.
She's in there alone, like just eating waffles. No one is.
just like very intently, like, nope, no.
The scratching noises in the chimney stop. Like it's either stopped of its own volition or has become lodged or wedged in there or something. And you start to think, well, maybe it's birds or something have taken to making their home in this chimney. And you just kind of listen to see if you hear any bird-like noises.
I don't think it's a bird. Strix, are you still a cloud?
The cloud just like next to it.
And the fire continues to crackle, and embers go up into the flue and go up the chimney. And obviously, there's a lot of smoke and stuff. So whatever, if there's anything in there, you don't hear it choking to death on smoke.
I'll go check as a cloud. I'll go. Whoop.
Okay. Okay.
All right. As Strix makes her way toward the chimney to go up it, suddenly there is a sound almost of something slipping, and then a noise of somebody falling down the rest of the chimney. And when it hits the fire, there is an explosion of smoke and embers and a lot of the burning wood comes tumbling down out of the fireplace along with the creature that has slipped and fallen and landed in your midst. And you can see as soon as it came into contact with the fire, it caught fire. Its clothes are all burning. And when it stands, you see it's as tall as a child, and it is a construct. That looks like that.
What is that?
Murderbot! That's Murderbot! No! Kill
And
it!
at first, it's kind of like on all four. It sort of comes tumbling out like a kid who's just been caught in a place where it shouldn't be, and it kind of lands on all fours and then kind of stumbles to its feet. And you see its hat is on fire and its clothes are all burning away. And it's absolutely covered, just black with soot, except for its eyes.
Fire makes it worse.
I stand up with waffles and I spit them out. I say, Murderbot, no. Murderbot, stay. Murderbot, stay.
All right. You see it's just kind of like a panicked child just sort of standing there staring. And as it looks around, its head does a complete 360
Oh, yeah.
to take in its surroundings.
Hello.
Cool.
Murderbot,
I would like to
What would you like to do at this point?
stab it.
Do you come
no, it does what we say, Dia. Just give it clear instructions.
They can hear me outside of the hut, yeah?
Oh, yes.
Like, no, what is Murderbot?
Now, I believe it listened to the instructions of one person, and I killed her. So,
Shh, Dia.
I mean, Zog, we didn't kill anyone.
I'm gonna...
Zog is like, what the fuck is that?
That's what I'm saying, Zog.
It's just a perfectly harmless little
Some sort of
construct.
bad puppet.
I'm just gonna like stand there froze, like just
Oh, so you're not going to strike it?
yeah. I'm like sword ready. It's like
Okay.
I'm gonna
Stay cloud.
do something.
Okay.
I'm gonna use I'm gonna use suggestion
Okay.
I'm the robot.
on the robot.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. So you cast a spell and try to suggest. What is it that you'd like to suggest? You can basically suggest an action or, a behavior.
You should totally be our friend.
All right. And now he has to make a saving throw.
Wait, we could have done that to the owl bear.
Oh my god.
It's true.
This is important.
All right.
Owlbears are people too.
This thing could kill us.
I mean, the owl bear could too,
Okay.
but
There's no way visibly to know whether your spell has taken hold. The creature does not immediately give any sort of clues or signs of reaction, but neither is it aggressive. You can see that actually you do receive a few subtle gestures. It's not quite as tense looking. Its shoulders sink a little bit. And it just kind of now looks around more out of curiosity than anything, just silently turning its head around, looking at every nook, cranny, corner, and crevice of this dilapidated lodge. And then he sort of dead ahead of him is the table and the cloud of Strix sort of hovering above him. And he kind of looks up at Strix.
When last we met Murderbot and he impaled someone, if I remember correctly, how did he do that?
They shot a dart.
So he shot a dart out of his mouth and it struck a child in the throat and killed it.
Instead. And Bolt was trying to be friends with it.
You can see that it does have tied to its little soot-covered belt what looks like a baton or a little club which has candy striping around it. So it looks like a candy cane club.
Awesome.
And whatnot. And
I cautiously approach it and I take the fur that I was wearing and I just kind of like It's okay, Murderbot.
You
Just
sort of drape this mantle over its shoulders, and it's kind of ridiculous because it's a big orc fur that's
Yeah.
now sort of hanging down almost like a king's mantle across.
and I wrap it like the way that I'm trying to like swaddle this thing. I'm like
right.
all the way around. And I'm just like
You see, it's just standing there.
kind of pat it.
I'm gonna turn back into myself and get
Okay.
behind Dia and pull the puppet out and say, "You're trying to steal this."
Maybe not. Maybe don't show it to him.
Yeah.
I know he's trying to steal it. We might as well kill him now.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's
Hey,
look. I made a friend. This doesn't happen often. So
Not if you're trying to steal this, friend.
The Murderbot sort of takes a few paces toward Paulton and kind of bounces against the dome of the.
you know what? Any friend of Paulton's is a friend of mine, and he doesn't look so.
And then as he's standing there outside the dome, Paulton, he just does this.
Nuh-uh.
Like-
It's dead. It's dead. It's dead. It's dead.
And that's where we'll stop for tonight.
Oh,
my
no. No, I don't like any of this.
I am so
Friendobot.
pro Murderbot. I love Murderbot. I think he's our one friend. He's going to do our bidding.
No, he's not.
Yes.
Tune in next week when we find out, is Murderbot on the up and up?
No.
Well, our heroes finally get a death by doll. Find out.
Now that our heroes have eaten waffles, will they have the will to go on?
It's just-
Are the adventuring days complete?
All right. It's great to be back, you guys. Ton of fun as always. Thank you so much.
Awesome to be back.
Yeah.
I immediately had fun again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, and you got back into your characters just like that.
Yep.
Mhm.
Evelyn was still there.
Yep.
Yeah.
The moment you miss a dagger throw, Dieth comes back.
Yeah.
All right. Any announcements that y'all want to make before we call this episode a wrap?
Sure. I'm playing another game right after this on twitch.tv/misclicks, and we play second edition. And in that one, I actually play a bard who is kind of I don't know. He's kind of a tortured emo, like I don't know, cross between Justin Bieber and Dashboard Confessional. I don't know. He's,
I approve.
yeah.
Does he play the synthesizer?
No, he plays the hurdy-gurdy, actually.
Oh, wow.
Close.
Yeah.
That's a tough instrument.
Damn.
Yeah, and he also is he does spoken word, which is like pretty uncommon in his region. So he's kind of a phenom. Yeah. So I'm playing that right after.
Cool.
I actually have a thing for once. A game came out today called 2064 Read Only Memories for the PS4, and it's also on Steam. And I voice a character named Chad in that, so if you want to go check that out, he
Awesome.
is kind of an obnoxious little punk ass, so
Aw,
Nice.
really fun. So yeah, check it out if you want.
That's cool.
The only thing I got is we have PAX South coming up at the end of the month, the last weekend of January. If you're going to be in San Antonio, look for me. I'll be there. Say hi. I'm running a couple games. One is our first Acquisitions Incorporated PAX South game ever.
Oh,
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. And the other is I am DMing for a panel called Binwin's Minions. Binwin Bronzebottom, everybody's favorite dwarf, is spinning off into his own big deal. So tune in.
Ooh.
So, and I'll also be boring you to death at the keynote.
hooray!
Nice.
And
That's
you
it.
guys should check out @cat_cosplay. They dressed up their cat as Strix, and it's pretty much the best thing.
There's a cat cosplay strip.
And it's amazing.
So
the
good.
cat
Yes.
has little horns. It's just magical. You
Yes.
should check it out. They did great.
The world can end now. Thank you.
I know. I was gonna say you know you've accomplished something beautiful when
Yeah.
When there's a cat Strix, looks just as great as the person one.
Okay.
Only thing I've got is I got to play the Nintendo Switch a few days ago, so I have a bunch of Nintendo Switch videos on my channels. Yay!
yeah.
Right. Check them out and see you all next week.
Yay!
Bye, gang.
We're back.
Yes.